And I've spent a lot of time with the Google Pixel Fold over these last 2 weeks, and as someone who's been daily driving the Galaxy Fold 4 since its release, I have been loving this phone a lot. But there are big things and more nuanced things that I think a lot of you guys should know about if you're planning on shelling out $1,800 for this device. So in this, I'm going to be as concise as possible, not waste you guys' time, lay out the 5 reasons I think you should get this device if you're interested, and the 5 reasons that if you are contemplating that you should be wary of and know what you're getting into. If you're new to the channel, my name is Dave and I do tech. For starters, like the hinge is exceptional. You can hold it in basically any orientation you want to, and the phone's going to do a great job of holding that position. Biggest thing here is this Z display where you can have like YouTube in the top page and then say like the comment section on the bottom page, or if you have say Google Docs open, you want to use the bottom as a keyboard and use the top as like your monitor display. This here is much better on the Google Pixel Fold than it is on the Galaxy Fold. In my previous Galaxy Fold review videos, I would show that off just because like it's something it can do. In practical everyday usage, it's not something I touch at all just because the screen orientation isn't conducive to using that super efficiently. Because the Pixel Fold has more of that notebook display, this is something that you can actually feasibly use in a comfortable way. Google nailed the form factor here, and I have to say if you're looking to use a foldable for those things, this is a better pickup than the Fold 4 in that way. Now, one of the things that's a heads up for you guys is that the Tensor G2 chipset, in my personal opinion, as someone who loves to game a lot on their devices, simply isn't going to cut it for those of you who are gamers much like myself. Now, I have to say that in terms of everyday normal use, right? The user interface is smooth, the software is smooth, opening and closing applications, shifting back and forth between different apps, multitasking, all of that is done exceptionally well here on the Pixel Fold. But if you're someone like myself that enjoys playing like Punishing Grave Raven or Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail, I'm really loving that game. This is going to get you like medium to medium high settings on most of those games at not a full 60 FPS consistently throughout. And that's just the long, short, and truth of it. On like say the iPhone 14 Pro Max or the S23 Ultra or even the Galaxy Fold 4, you can hit all of those games at their maximum settings and they're going to breeze right through them. But as it stands, you're not hitting maximum everything in basically any game. For a lot of people, that's not going to be a deal breaker. I'll let you decide if that's a deal breaker for you. It's not quite a deal breaker for me, but it is disappointing. Now, on the flip side of being slightly disappointed about the gaming thing, one of the absolute biggest reasons to get a Pixel Fold, in my opinion, is Google is just so exceptional at that software experience, right? So on the Galaxy Fold 4, for example, Samsung has come a super long way in terms of refining and making their user experience more detailed and fluid and responsive. Google absolutely has nailed that overall package here on the Pixel Fold in the same way they had on like say the 6 Pro or the 7 Pro. And for me, one of the biggest things that always separates the Pixel software experience from other Android devices, Pixel devices feel like iPhones in terms of that sort of software magic. There are little animations and details to the user interface that make it feel like a super cohesive full package. So for example, right, something as simple as this inside display. So when you bring the notification shade down, on the little perimeters of the user interface here, when you shift the screen closed ever so slightly, all of the UI elements sort of squeeze in. And when you open back up, they all sort of squeeze back out. There are little attention to detail aspects of the software experience like that littered all throughout the Pixel Fold experience. It's one of those things that make the Pixel Fold really fun to use. I would say the Pixel Fold and the Galaxy Fold, for example, are equivalently smooth, but the Pixel Fold software experience is a bit more fun and pleasing because of those small details. So if you're someone that loves those things, you're absolutely getting a ton of that here on the Pixel Fold. If you guys are enjoying the video so far, I want to stay up to date with other tech content I have coming here to the channel. Hitting the subscribe button is the best way to do so. A thumbs up goes a long way to helping me out here on the channel. And if you're digging the Pixel Fold so far in this video, give me a peach emoji, and if you're not feeling it, give me a Alright, so I'm gonna be honest, when the Pixel Fold display was first unveiled at their event, I saw it and I thought, oh, it's a little bit wider, it's kind of short, looks like it'll be nice to use, I'm sure I'll enjoy it. I've really enjoyed it. I actually am in love with this front display, not because it's only crisp and detailed and is an exceptional display. Google nailed it here. But I can't lie, man, like having this additional screen real estate in a more like natural phone kind of package is awesome. A lot of people were kind of concerned where... There we go. A lot of people in my Fold 4 and Pixel Fold review video were concerned that like the screen was just too wide. No, man, it's a normal phone screen. It's just short so it looks chubbier than like a normal screen. Using this has been an absolute joy. You can access every single corner of the front display with absolutely no problem. The display looks great. When you're playing a game or watching a video or say YouTube on this front display, flat out, it's just nicer. You're not getting a condensed form factor. You're not getting a harsher crop on the content that you're consuming. I have loved this front display. I'll just keep on talking about it, but seriously, if you were apprehensive about this, it's been great, man. Alright, so this one's gonna be a little bit of a combo. One of the big disappointments for me with the Pixel Fold in my roughly 2 weeks using the phone to this point is the lack of software stuff to sort of complement this form factor. For starters, there's no 3-window mode on the Pixel Fold like you have on the Galaxy Fold 4. It's limited to just splitting the screen in half for 2 applications, which is a shame because this wide form factor would be awesome for that multitasking. Additionally, you can't turn any application into a bubble by like dragging from the top screen or even in the settings. Now you can go to the developer options, go all the way down, and there's going to be a option to force enable freeform windows. And they work, but they're not quite as accessible as on the Galaxy Fold 4 because you can only use them on the home screen, where on the Fold 4, I can be in Twitter, turn that into a tiny little bubble, and then open up YouTube and the bubble will still be there while I'm in YouTube, you know what I mean? Or for example, on the Fold 4, I can use 2 fingers to swipe from the left or right or top or bottom of the screen, and it's going to activate multitasking. And there are a bevy of different software accessible options that are available on the Fold 4 that give you a lot of flexibility and complement that form factor that simply are absent here on the Pixel Fold. Now, fingers crossed, right, that's something that they can add in additional updates, and I don't see why they wouldn't be able to. But as of right now, at launch, at release, that's not something that you can do here. I was actually going to make an entire tips and tricks video on how to best get the most out of your Pixel Fold. There's just nothing to really talk about, and I didn't want to make a clickbait video, waste you guys' time, waste my time too, talking about that. Those are just things that are not available here. Again, is it going to be a deal breaker for everyone? No, but again, on an $1,800 device, it's disappointing. Alright, so since I did a twofer for that one, I'm going to do a twofer for these, is the speakers and the brightness on this device. The speakers are awesome. They're flat out just better than the Galaxy Fold 4. They're not quite as good as like the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Apple kills their speakers every single year. But they're loud, they carry more bass, better quality in the high ranges and the mid ranges than the Fold 4 speakers. They're awesome. I think they did a really good job here. To go alongside that, the haptics on this are fantastic. They're better than the Fold 4. Holding down on anything to open up like different menus and options just feels really good here. The brightness on this can reach a maximum of 1500 nits. On the Fold 4, on the inner display more specifically, like you can see outside in really bright, harsh sunlight, but it's not as easy as here on the Pixel Fold. That extra brightness really does come in handy, and using the inner display and outdoor elements is just easier than on the Galaxy Fold 4. Okay, so for this last one, flat out, the battery on the Pixel Fold, for a lot of people, is just not going to cut it. Now, for me personally, I'm someone that has a charger available basically most points throughout my day. So for me, getting that 4.5 hours of screen on time, though a nuisance and objectively flat out just not great, is something that I could personally work with if I were to continue using this every day as a daily driver. But for those of you guys who are not able to rely on having chargers like throughout your day consistently, that's a big one that you guys are going to want to look out for. I personally use like an Anker power bank for my MacBook, for my iPad, for my other devices if I need to. That one's really good. You might want to invest in a power bank. Yeah, that's the long and short of it. I mean, I don't really have to talk much more about that, but not a battery champ like the S23 Ultra or the iPhone 14 Pro Max, unfortunately. Genuinely, I feel like Google did a really good job on the overall package of the Pixel Fold, between the speakers and the software experience, the screens, the haptics. There's a lot to love here on the Pixel Fold, and I really hope that this sells well so they continue to iterate and improve upon it for next year's model. But at this price point, there are a lot of things still, like the battery life and the lack of cohesive complementary software features to really flesh out this device. Those are things I wanted you guys to know about. Let me know in the comment section if you're going with the Pixel Fold, with the Peach, or if not, give me kind of like, you know that emoji they're kind of like holding up an X with their arms? I think that'd be fitting here. Thank you guys so much again for stopping by and hanging out. I wish you a fantastic remainder of your day, afternoon, or night, depending on the time it is you are watching this. And as always, peace, love, and adios. Bye guys, have a great day. Bye.